weep, up, weep, ninny bong, and welcome back to the Justin Network. And today we are going to be looking at Transformers Age of the Prime, the original 13, Micronus Prime. And man, am I super duper excited for this dude. He is a deluxe class, right? And how about we get him open? Alrighty, here is Micronus out of the box. So he is one of the original 13 Primes. You know, it's been a couple weeks since we've had a video on one of the original 13. This is one that he came off a pre-order from Hasbro Pulse not too long ago. I haven't had this, you know, sitting around too awful long. But you're probably thinking, well, that's weird. Hasn't this figure been out for a really long time? Yeah, it has. It's been in Walmart stores for a really long time. Target stores for a really long time. Which is super frustrating. I've said it once, I'll say it again. If I'm ordering something on pre-order, I feel like I should get it before it's, you know, just readily available to everyone at every store. Like, I mean, I get it, kind of, but at the same time, it's like, no, I get why you would still do it because it guarantees you get the toy, but other than that, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Because you would think, oh, well, I'm guaranteed to get a toy and I'm one of the first ones to get it. I'll be getting it before people at retail could get it, right? I mean, but no, that's not how it works, and that's just very freaking frustrating to me. I just don't understand it. Don't understand it at all. It should be like a video game. When you get, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops, you get it the day it comes out. You know what I mean? With these, I mean, I guess the difference is they gotta ship it out. But if you compare it to like the old GameStop days, remember you could get it like the brand new Call of Duty when you pre-ordered it. You'd show up, get it on the night of its release, the physical media of it. So I don't know, it's weird, very, very weird. But as you can see here on the back, he's got some open bits through here. It's a little rough, but outside of that, not too awful bad. Little holes and things, but not bad at all from the back side there. You know, we got to look at a lot of this while I was talking, but we did have to make sure on that right there that he could T-pose. By the way, real quick, a wrist spin on a deluxe figure, it's kind of crazy. You don't see that very often. Don't see that very often at all. Got the ankle tilt, all that good stuff. Do want to make sure, though, that he can, which I'm going to assume that he can, but we want to make sure that he's going to Jean-Claude Van Damme and hold himself up. I really like these colors. They, I think, look a little different on camera, but usually every time I say that, I go back and watch it, and it's like, oh, no, they don't. So, you know, maybe it doesn't, but on camera, they look extra blue. But, I mean, this is a really good, like, that turquoise, aquamarine type area of green blue. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so now let's look at his accessory, right? So he's got this bad boy right here. It's gonna plug in right here on his chest. Ooh, an even more finished look there. And that's like his piece, you know, that all the different members of the original 13 had their own like little thing, little item, little weapon, whatever. That's his. The Chimera Stone. And actually, look, his little symbols right there. Because, you know, each Prime also has their own symbol, and it's right there on him. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's measure him real quick here. From the ground to the top of his head, it's going to be about 3/4 inches. Pretty close. Do shoulder to shoulder there, it's going to be about 3.5 inches. Pretty darn close. He's almost a square. Right? I really like these hands. Look at that. They look like they're like machine guns. Right? They're blasters. His fingers are. I think that's really cool. I like the way these arms and hands look. That looks not as necessarily realistic as you would want, maybe, but more so. I keep grabbing that because, as you can see, that keeps coming apart. Not wanting to stay plugged in together super well.
Sounds like a doozy of a problem.
But it reminds me of something that would be on like old Transformers, like the Armada days or something like that, right? So, though, how about we now get him transformed? Because if y'all don't know this figure, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at his transformation. real quick here, I just have something to point out. Yeah, this dude's a straight up parts former. You literally take him apart and put him back together, which will make more sense here in just a minute. I know I'm building up the suspense. And to build up even more suspense, this little bit that I did want to look at here, if that symbol on it looks any kind of familiar. This is a shout out to the kids that are probably my age, around late 20s, mid 20s, early 30s. You should very well know this symbol if you were a Transformers fan since you were a kid. Yes, this is the Minicon symbol, the original Minicon symbol from Transformers Armada. And that's right, Micronus Prime Minicon. He's like the I've said this many times, but I like to compare the original 13 to gods, like Greek gods, Roman gods, all that type of stuff. So in my mind, they're all kind of associated with the one thing, and Micronus here is associated with the Minicon. And here we are. We see Micronus. Yes, another mode. That was him in an exosuit. This is actually Micronus. He's a little guy, just like a Minicon. They're small. Big exosuit transformed into this wheelie type vehicle for him. Isn't that cool? God, this looks awesome. You see this? Got like that clear plastic. Hopefully that ages well. But this is he's such a round, little, bulky, stout dude. I love those kind of designs. Oh my goodness. It's so awesome and cute at the same time. I love this. He looks so cute. He's so awesome. He's so cool. And this is also so incredibly awesome and cool. What? Like, that's a cool thing to think up, right? Come on now. This is cool. One big issue is, so his feet, he has a little bit of a hard time. Well, it's not too awful bad on standing up, but it's a little rough. And then this, though, doesn't have a kickstand. I guess you could do something with these. Yeah, to make it stand like that. When it's parked, I guess you could say that, but its natural look is supposed to be like those sticking out, and they look like exhaust pipes, right? Right, very cool. Yeah, it's like a little wheelie ATV type bit. One big wheel that rolls pretty well. I mean, you're not going to be able to well, even like that, it rolls decently well. You know what I mean? Even with it not standing up straight. But yeah, this is a cool look. I mean, obviously, on the insides, it's a little rough, a little empty through here, but I actually don't think that looks nearly as bad as a lot of figures would look in that area most of the time. But I mean, they knocked this out of the freaking park. I'm actually insanely impressed. And let's look at little Micronus here, see what he can do real quick with his, moving around, his articulation, all those good bits like that. Spin around right through there. This is so early 2000s coded, man. So Transformers Armada coded. It feels like a toy from that time quite a bit. This does not feel like a modern or a Age of the Primes figure. This literally just feels like almost something from a whole nother franchise. So I'm keen to know if the guy that engineered this, or gal that engineered this, they've messed with any other molds before, or if this was like their first project or what, because this just feels so different. So now what we're going to do to get him on his little bike, right? Gonna go like that, go like this. Interesting. So these just pop on, right? I would have thought that these are the bits that you would want up, right? You would think, but instead these are supposed to be up. And I'll show you why right here, because they just plug into that little hole right there. But I'll show you why. And this makes a little more sense. It's so you can do like that. And it's like kickstand, it's like parking, right? So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't look too bad across there, even with this up. I just hate those two bolts being right there. So loud to look at, I guess you could say. But you'll go like this, spread them out like this a little bit. See these little nubs right there? They're gonna plug into, see those little holes right there? Yeah, buddy. This is already feeling like what we were messing with a little bit last week with all Wheeling Grimlock. If y'all didn't check that one out, go check it out. It was our 100th video on the channel. It was a nice little special one. We looked at Grimlock and Wheelie from the Studio Series 86. They do not want to plug in there very good, unfortunately. I think it's just the pegs aren't long enough, or maybe it's the holes are not deep enough. Took a little finagling, but we got it, and oh my goodness, he looks like a gorilla. You see that? He's giving me Optimus Primal vibes. What the heck? This is crazy. This is so cool. Man, I love this. I did not I mean, I have a big attachment to the mini-cons because Armada was like it wasn't the first show. I think RID 2001 was like the first show that was out when I was like conscious of Transformers. But Armada was like the first show that like started when I was like, oh, I know what Transformers is. I understand what Transformers is. And I watched it basically the entire way through, recording episodes on VHS when it was like brand new, coming on whatever Saturday mornings or whenever it came on. I don't even remember. But yeah, so look at this. It's not so freaking cool. He looks so tough like that, man. I don't know. I might want to display him in this mode. I like both, but I think there's definitely a case to be made of displaying him in this mode because it looks so freaking good. Before we transform back, I guess we should do a little bit of measuring up here. So let's say with him on it, it's gonna be the height of about 3 5/8. With the kickstands out, it's gonna be about pretty close to 3.5. I don't know if it's quite there. If you extend these out so it's, you know, blasting through, exhaust coming out, you're gonna be looking at about 4.5 inches. It's pretty darn close. That is the most that we're gonna look at with it though. I mean, it's got holes so you could plug in different accessories, weapons if you have them, extra ones, so you could really make this thing look like it's ready to go into battle. But I do want to take him back off and measure him individually as well. So if you measure him up from the ground to his highest point, he's gonna be about 2 7/8, maybe, if you go to his highest spot. And then if you go to the bike without him on it, it from the ground to its highest spot is going to be maybe slightly over 3 inches, but very close to that 3-inch mark. Before we transform him back, I do want to show you real quick, when you have all those pieces apart, you can actually plug them into other Transformers like their weapons, like weaponizers and such. If y'all remember, like Infernac Universe Calcitron's kind of like that. All the Infernac Universe characters. There was some that they did back in the day in like War for Cybertron and stuff, but the pieces go and plug into other Transformers to like upgrade them basically. But I just thought I would show you that. See, you can like attach them. There he is with Firefly, the aerial bot. You can see how they could kind of connect on and make the character look upgraded. I did want to show you real quick that this is doable as well. You can have his exosuit empty there and him outside of it. That's also a really good way to store it as well. I think the best way to display it is either like this or with him in his alt mode and him like on top of it, because I think just him being, you know, transformed into the little guy that's hidden away is like not as fun, you know what I mean? He's hidey, he's gone. You can't like appreciate him. I'll just do this off the top of my head as we talk here. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? I'm very, very liking what all we had going on with this figure. I'll turn that around like that, I do believe. And then I've done something wrong, of course, of course, of course, of course. There we go. Fold that in like that, and now you have him like that. Pretty cool, right? And then there's that. You can actually plug him on back here if you so choose. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just put him in the chest if you're going to do that, but that is an option as well. There's the video. I do want to leave him like this because what we're going to do now is see how they scale with other Transformers figures we've recently looked at. Starting off, we have, speaking of Infernac Universe, we have the Legacy United Core Class Geocron. And you see, good bit taller than this, still a little bit smaller than this. But then you have them with a fellow Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Crasher. You see, I think I felt it and didn't quite realize it though. This is smaller than your average deluxe class, which is kind of funny. I mean, it makes sense. It reminds me more of the way Bumblebee or something would be. It'll probably scale up to the same height, similar to that Bumblebee 86 mold probably. But yeah, that just shows you it is still decently small for deluxe class as well. And you have him with one of the other original 13 primes, Alpha Trion, who is a Voyager class from the Age of the Primes line. And you can see, good bit taller. I think it would be still even a slight bit shorter if you stack them on top of each other. And then what's next? That's right, Leader Class. Also from Age of the Primes, also one of the original 13 Primes, Micronus, the Fallen. And you can see way bigger than him just stacked up on top of him there. Yeah, Leader Class to this, pretty big difference. All right, so now we get to move on to the rankings part of this video. Let's start off with functionality. Remember, functionality is going to be all about the articulation, the posing, the accessory storage. This is an interesting one because you could almost count this itself as an entire accessory, or this and this and these, and it's a big different way you could count them as accessories. I would say almost the whole figure could be counted as an accessory. It also has really good articulation. The wrist spins. It does basically everything with this exosuit except for spin at the hip. The feet are just okay. And then posing. I mean, you saw the cool poses he could do when he was on the bike in the other mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got some good stuff he can do. I think you could maybe say an 8, but I'm going to give him a 9 here. I think the overall accessories that it brings are so good and so awesome. I think he deserves that 9. If you want to give him an 8, I understand, but for me, I feel safe with a 9. So next up, we will grade transformation. Remember, transformation will be graded upon how easy is the transformation process, how creative is that transformation process, and how fun is it to do. So, I personally, in this department, give him an 8. I think realistically, I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna give him a 9. Yes. Here's why I give him a 9. Really fun process. It's not like the funnest transformer I've ever transformed, but definitely on the higher end, especially in like your more recent figures. I think a lot of times the transformations are not as fun as they used to be. I do think this was a pretty easy to grasp, which, you know, this plays into the rankings as well. Is it hard or easy? And decently fun. And above all, I thought it was crazy creative the way they did this whole thing, right? The whole engineering process that went into this was awesome. The way this transforms, the way this opens up and transforms, the way it comes apart, all that was freaking awesome. Some people don't like parts formers. I get it. I personally thought it worked perfectly with this figure. I think a 9 is absolutely earned. If you go an 8, I would like to know that. If you are giving it something different than I am, leave it in the comments. Let us know. I read every single comment, right? And then lastly, we have his appearance. So that's going to be graded upon how good does he look in his bot mode, how good does he look in his alt mode, and how well does he portray the character he's supposed to be looking like, which was Micronus Prime from the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 TV show. You're going to see what he looked like in that here. And you see, very freaking similar to this little dude right here. So, I was very impressed there. Also, he looks really good in all of his modes. Any way you transform him, whatever way you're going to do it, this mode, the opposite mode, this mode, plugged him in, however you want to do it, it all looks pretty freaking good. I went 7. I don't think he looks exactly like he did in the show. There's obviously some little issues like backing through here and such, and a little bit with the arms in the alt mode, but for the most part, you don't have too many issues. Big balls right there. Guess that's part of it. But you know, overall, I think it's a 7, and I think you could argue an 8. So guys, what the heck? This figure was so much better than I expected. 997? Right? It's crazy. This is a very, very, very good figure. So glad I have it. So glad I decided to do this review. Like I said, I've had it for 2-3 weeks maybe not even that long, and I just kind of pushed it off because I had other things I was doing. A little bit of a miss from me for not doing this instantly when I got it. because this figure is awesome. And I'd like to know if y'all, like I said, agree. Think I was right, think I was wrong. Maybe I was hopping up too much. Maybe I should have been hating on it more. I don't know. You guys just let me know, right? In the comments. I read them. Love them. Anytime you leave a comment, you should also be liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it to all your friends. And while you're at it, how about you go check out the second channel? That would be Just 10 Network Movies. On that channel, we review movies, look at movies, make funny videos, rankings, all that good stuff. Been doing a lot of shorts on there, not as much videos, working on getting some more videos over there so it's not just shorts and community posts. Anyways, guys, just want to say I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Come on back, because next week we will have another video on this channel, just as we always do here on Just 10 Network Toys. So, guys, again, appreciate you. Love y'all. Till all are one. Peace.